Hey, all, quick update here. The first upload got copyright blocked. I gotta fucking re-edit everything. Like, my 10 views are gone. So, yep. If you've seen this video before, but it looks like it's been recently uploaded, there's the reason. The video gets re-uploaded again. This is why I hate YouTube. Hello, everyone. This is gonna be my first video I'll make. And I don't know how to make videos. It's just a for fun channel. So, the mic may be dog shit. I'll say that. So today I'm gonna make us a review and rank series. And I decided to do it on like the most recent thing I've been watching. It's called Hilda. And that's all I have to say, so let's get to the ranking. Episode 1, The Hidden People. So a funny thing about the series is that every episode is called a chapter, which I'm still gonna call them episodes. So the episodes are an average day for Hilda's life. You know, like going outside to the wilderness, drawing cool things, nearly dying, you know, your average Wednesday. And Hilda, I think she's a fun character. She's free-spirited, loves the outdoors, doing what the hell she wants. She lives with her single mother, Joanna, which she's a bad bitch. I want her.
She is such a bad bitch.
And her pet deer fox thing called Twig. It's not really a character, but I like him. He's funny. Recently, there's been attacks by elves trying to get them to get out of the house. And Joanna thinks they should leave because this is getting too much for them. But Hilda likes where she is. Late that night, she meets up with a friendly elf who doesn't hate them, called Alpha. And a funny thing about elves is that they're invisible and you need to sign paperwork. They're obsessed with paperwork. I think it's really funny. That's why Alpha's like the third best character in the series. Oh, third funniest. So the next day I try to talk to the mayor. Mayor. Which after like basically threatening him with like not returning his pet cat thing. I don't know what the things are called. So the mayor allows them to see the prime minister, which when they get there, the prime minister can't do anything about it because he said he would kick them out if he gets elected to be prime minister. So they come back another day to see the king, to see if he'll allow them to stay, which is sad until so they have to do it. So they wait until the next day, and that's where the episode ends. In my opinion, when ranking a first episode of a series, I rank them based on two things: if they're a good pilot episode, and if they're a good episode in general. I think it is a good like pilot episode. It sets up everything, sets up the characters, locations, like plot points, stuff like that. But episode, it's kind of mid. It's alright. Maybe because I'm spoiled for like actual masterpieces of pilots like SpongeBob.
I'm
Breaking
SpongeBob.
Bad. But it's fine.
Holy mother of God!
If I'd rank it, I'd give it like a B tier. I would like to say this episode introduced Woodman, who's like the second funniest character and like one of my favorite characters in the show. He doesn't really do anything. He's just there. But I love him. Beautiful character. Peak character, if I'm being honest. Episode 2, Midnight Giant. Recently, Hill's been noticing a giant who's been stalking her. When asking him, he says that he's been waiting for his lover for years. And Hill suggests like, oh, maybe she doesn't love you. And the giant starts to realize that. In the morning, Joanna takes Hilda to Trollberg's to show her everywhere. including school where she meets two characters who like are not gonna be important in the rest of the series. When she gets back, she gets help from the woodmen to realize the giants used to roam the world until people, the regular sized people, got mad at them for like destroying the shit, and just ran off. And the giant that she talked to was actually like on top of a mountain, like guarding something. I forgot what. So next day, Hilda and Alpha went to the king's castle to see if they could not evict them. And the king ignores her, which caused her to get mad and like, yell at them. So, which caused an avalanche, which Hilda was able to save the king before he falls to the ground and dies. And it turns out the mountain was actually the giant she was talking to's lover. Who's been waiting there for like who knows how fucking long. And Hilda realized that, oh shit, I told your boyfriend to that you've been ditching him. I told him like you can go fuck off now. Until the giant shows up, and due to Hilda's bravery saving them, the king decides to like not evict them. But at the moment they decide that he says, "Oh, we don't need to kick you out," the giants step on a house and they fucking jump into space. Joanna says, "Oh shit, they didn't even notice us while stepping on one of the else's house." Get the metaphor. And Hilda decides, shit. We're kind of the giants to the elves, so we have to leave. So we decide to leave and move to Trollberg. That's a city. I think I said that before. Fuck you. Hilda is disappointed now since she can't have any more fun. But she is 100% wrong with that statement. To be honest, I think this is a pretty good episode compared to the first episode. Like, I like how much it sets up and pays off. Like, the giant, basically the plot of the first episode, the "you don't have any hands" joke. That's my Hilda impression. I know, of course, like everyone talks about this. It's the metaphor, like, you know, like the giants moved away because they were causing too much trouble. The rail-sized people. That's what Hilda and Joanna are doing with the elves. That's so fucking deep. It's like that one Better Call Saul episode where they're like the fucking ants in the ice cream. Yeah, I still think that was kind of mad, if I'm being honest. I still would say it's a B tier, like just better than Hidden People. So, next episode, let's go. Episode 3, The Bird Parade. Hilda's still getting used to her new life in Trollberg, and Joanna does the most parent thing ever and forces her to be friends with like the first random kid she sees in like the middle of the fucking road. And these kids, they're fine. They do like the average kid stuff, like, you know, ding dong ditching, kicking cans, animal abuse, you know, like what average kids do in the 90s. While they're committing animal abuse, Trevor like nails a fucking bird and straight up just nails him. Of course, it's like mad, like, you know, animal abuse is kind of cringe, if I'm being honest. Hot take. And I realized the raven, the bird thing, can speak, which only Hilda and Trevor does. Which Hilda quickly runs home the bird and reveals like the bird has got memory loss, getting like nailed in the face by a rock, which he barely remembers anything. He remembers that he was used to be bigger, and he's important. He thinks it's that guy.
You are not the...
Joanna gets suspicious of Hilda like doing some chicanery. So when leaving to go see a parade that's happening tonight, she goes back inside, finds out the Raven is in there, and basically throws him out like a reasonable person, along with Alpha, because she has not signed the papers. So when they get to the parade, Hilda realized that the bird Raven thing she got is actually like the thing that everyone is celebrating for. So she runs back to go find him, and while that, Alpha and the Raven like try to find Hilda, which they did a fucking terrible job at, and gets caught by Trevor, who's trying to show his friends that he's not crazy, which ends terribly. They think he's like schizophrenic or something like that, which Trevor gets mad and like basically threatens to drown the bird. He doesn't tell them, and Hilda and Joanna gets there, and Hilda accidentally causes Trevor to like drop the bird into like the water, and before he gets fully submerged in the water, Hilda reminds him that he's the Great Raven, which causes him to get his memories back, I guess. Hilda jumps in the water to try to save the Raven, which the Raven becomes big and breaks out of his cage and takes Hilda on a ride. Completely scaring Joanna, by the way. And the Raven really basically tells us his backstory to Hilda, that he's like actually not a god, he's just some random bird that shoots lightning and grows big. But just everyone believes he's the god, he's like a god. And he decided to like play up the act, just for the bit, for the funny, for the funny. Which eventually he comes to the parade, lets everyone know he's there. The parade starts, returning Hilda to lmao, which that must have been traumatizing for her. And they basically share some time together watching the parade as the episode ends. I really love this episode. I'm gonna say it. I have to say it. Raven's like the greatest character like ever conceived by mankind. He's funny. His character design is perfect. His voice acting is perfect. And he and Alfred is like the best dynamic of like the show. They're just, I love them. They're beautiful. Hilda and Joanna's relationship is good, I guess. Like, I just like they're happy together. They're happy. Like, I like it. I haven't got to it yet, but the animation and music are like actually good. They're, like, it was like one of the best shows like animation wise. And I think like this episode like does it. That just tells you the most. Like the lighting's like top tier. Like, and the music's really good too. So that was just kind of cool. It's like kind of set up like Dare and Frida, basically, which I'm gonna talk about more like the next episode. But all I gotta say is that that not really side plot, but side plot, it's kind of funny. It's funny.
Flashlight, water, matches, camping knife, and ration for 3 days. Can I share your rations? I'm afraid it's every woman for herself in these dark times.
So this episode, S tier. The second best episode of the season. Episode 4, Sparrow Scouts. Hilda decided to join the Sparrow Scouts, duh. And she partners up with Frida and David, which they were introduced like since episode 2. And for the first they need to do to get a Sparrow Scout badge, they have to clean up a messy area in Droberg, and they choose this garden area, which they eventually do that, and they take like the mulch, I think, to like the mulching center. But the next morning they come back and realize that someone has trashed up the place, and the person who trashed up the place is a Victra who is voiced by not Gilbert Gottfried.
Weeds.
Stinky weeds? How insulting! We're not weeds!
And tells him that they disturbed his and his friends like sleep. And turns out that the mulch they took to the mulch tent, they could like grind it up. We're his friends. But before that, the Victra steals Frida's stash and like runs away on the ground, which causes her and Hilda to like chase after him, which eventually the Victor decides to he'll give back her Frida sash if they save his friends from getting like fucking grinded up, which they eventually do, and bro think he's Gilbert Gottfried gives Frida her sash back, but they didn't clean up the garden in time, which caused them to not get the badge. But it doesn't matter because they have friends. They got friends. They're amigos. To be honest, this episode's mid as hell. Like, I should get this out of the way. David, he's like, out of all main characters in the show, he's my favorite. She's just like me for real.
That's easy enough. Although my hands tend to sweat when I'm nervous, which makes them slippery, which could be a problem, but whoa! That's a cool rock.
Oh my god!
Good plan. You handle the rope, I'll handle the meaningless distractions. Cool, look.
Frida, I'll be honest, I don't like her. She's boring. Ignoring that episode, she's fine. She does not work as a main character. She's not interesting enough. However, I do like the introduction. Like in episode 2, they reveal that they exist. Then episode 3, we got a side plot with them, which they basically show us their personalities. And then by episode 4, they don't need to introduce them, and they basically just don't have to waste time introducing them, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah. Besides that, I really don't like this episode. I give it like a C tier. It's fine. Episode 5, Troll Rock. Yo, remember the rock David got from last episode? That is a baby troll. In his show and tell day in Hilda's school, ignore the fact that the school was only mentioned like in episode 2, and every kid is brought on to show off. I literally don't know anyone else besides David and Hilda's. And during show and tell, the teacher, I forgot her name, is showing the class some video about something. I forgot about that too, which a rock hits the projector, and the teacher immediately blames Hilda. Based, if I'm being honest. One of the reasons that she may have blamed Hilda is that she's like different. Like since she's not used to school being a normal functioning member of society, she doesn't like basically follow the rules like the other kids, and she wants to put her in like a special needs class or something like that. So eventually Hilda realizes that the rock David took from the last episode is baby troll, and gets Alpha and David to like get the troll from the teacher's desk and hide it under David's sweater while Frida and a parent distract the teacher. But the sun causes the set, which causes the second worst scene in the show. And 2, David to lose control of the rock, it's like causing shit. Eventually, the teacher, which what's her name? I completely forgot her name. Hold on, Mrs. Hallgrim, which causes eventually so much shit happens. Mrs. Hallgrim, basically takes Hilda and her mother to her office, I think, and tells her that Hilda's a bad kid and needs like special needs, something like that. Which eventually the baby troll's mother comes to the school and scares everyone. But Hilda is able to like return the baby troll to the mother before she kills everyone. And while she's giving the troll's mother destroys the statue of a character whose son will not be important in the next season. Eventually, Miss Helgrim realizes that Hilda's not a bad kid and does not put in a special needs class. episode is kind of confusing for me. Like, I feel like the best and worst part about the show, it's comedy. Like, some of the jokes are honestly kind of funny, like Hilda's montage of not being a good student, and David's parents being extremely proud of him for bringing a rock collection. But then again, the dancing joke is unfunny. I wanted to die when watching that. Overall, I think the episode's fine. I'll give it a C tier. Episode 6, Nightmare Spirits. Due to like the shit David's been going through since he and Hilda became friends, he has been having lots of nightmares. This one about like rats or something like that. Hilda and Hilda Fashion decides to try to get rid of David's fears of the Rat King by taking him to the Rat King, where they almost drown. The Rat King like tells secrets of other people if you tell them a secret, which Hilda does, and it turns out a teenager that Hilda is beefing with, like, and saw the episode, is actually the reason that David's been getting nightmares. So later that night, Hilda, Frida, and David are plotting something. They're cooking something. So later that night, David, Frida, and Hilda are like scoping out David's place to see the teenager in action. What they do, they chase him. Frida decides to take Hilda on a bike, which Hilda reluctantly agrees. Oh, don't worry. And it turns out these teenagers are magic. They later reveal that the Maras, like some like teenagers who literally like get off to scaring people. Hilda confronts the Maras, which they disappear on sight. And the next day, they learn more about the Maras, and they find out that the Maras are like weak against belts, which also to just say something, David is scared of belts, not for any reason you're thinking of, because he's too dripped out for belts. So Hilda has this plan where he and David switch clothing to fool each other's parents, and they are their kid. I just realized something, that when Hilda and David had to switch places in this episode, they had like hair of each other. Where the hell did the hair come from? That's kind of funny. That's like that Buford of molds of his friends ass shit. Frida and Alpha are also there. So during the night, the Mara comes to scare David, give him nightmares. Hilda and Frida like basically just captures her, I think. They put a belt around her, which Mara's are weak to. I don't think I've said that. Hilda and the Mara makes a deal where the Mara will try to scare Hilda in her sleep, and if she doesn't do it, she won't get to scare David anymore and give him nightmares, which they do. When Hilda falls asleep, the Mara starts giving her nightmares, which at first she's winning at. Like, Hilda's taking the nightmares like a champ, until the Mara finds out Hilda's secret, which she told the Rat King, that she is scared of bikes. I don't think she's actually scared of bikes, more like scared like doing new things, which works, and she's like fucking scared. Bike jump scare. Meanwhile, at Hilda's house, Joanna eventually figures out that Hilda and David switch spots, which that conversation gotta be hilarious. And Joanna and David gets to David's house, and they see her fucking screaming in his sleep. David feels bad for Hilda for basically suffering for him, and wakes Hilda up from her nightmare, basically making her fail the deal she made tomorrow. So the next morning, Hilda apologizes for basically not winning the deal for him. But it turns out when he fell asleep, he confronted the Mara and says oh, he's not scared of her anymore. Caused the Mara not care anymore, since David's willing to face his fears. There's no point trying to scare him anymore. So everyone's happy. Hilda apologizes for taking their friends like dangerous, fucking terrifying adventures, which Frida says she likes her for doing that. Keep that in mind later on. And Hilda asks David and Frida to like help her learn how to ride a bike. I love this episode. This is my favorite episode of season 1, and my second favorite for the series in general. I think the nightmare scene in this episode is like the peak season 1 gets of animation wise. I think it sounds so good. I think I only have like 2 problems I have with it. One is just this random line from the episode.
Oh my, that was eerie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not scared, but I can see how you'd think that.
If Hilda was more jerkish in this episode, I can see this working, but since she's like really nice in the season, it doesn't really work in my opinion. Also, this episode's not scary. I don't know what I was supposed to say. Being like a spooky episode, like nightmares and stuff like that, it's not scary at all. But those are only more nitpicks. Senzo is an S tier, the best the season gets. Episode 7, The Lost Clan. Hilda, Frida, and David are trying to win a Sparrow Scout badge for like finding plants or something like that. And Hilda wants to find this rare plant called a blue nettle, I think so. And David tells him that he saw one before, like at some old wall. So they should go there, and before David can grab it, some clan of elves attack, like basically ambush them, and it basically captured David when he's able to run away. And so it turns out the elves that stole him was a clan of elves that basically got kicked out of like elf society for like not finishing a contract, and they are mad about that. So Hilda, Frida, and Alpha have to like find a loophole in the contract so the clan can come back to elf society. After looking at the contract multiple times, I think it turns out they need a lint worm, I think that's how you pronounce it, to burn up the contract so the Lost Clan can go back to elf society. But it turns out the only lindworm is in some faraway island that's not important for a later season. They eventually ride on some water spirit thing. Can you tell these videos are not scripted? I just need to tell you that. To the island, which Lindworm's not happy for them to show up because she has like social anxiety and like basically attacks them. And so Frida and Hilda basically offer up the plants they took before the blue knitter, which Linda gladly accepts because she's like a gardener or something like that. And eventually she burns the contract, basically letting the Lost Clan get back to Elf Society. But the Lost Clan like basically likes where they are, so they decide to stay there and like let the piece of land that they were supposed to have be like the elves is. And they release David and let them take some of the blue knitter. So everyone's happy and they have a party, and yeah, that's really about it. To be honest, this is nowhere near as good as Nightmare Spirit. I still think it's a good episode. While the plot with Hilda, Frida, and Alpha is fun, the Lost Clan and David's plot, that's side plot-ish, is beautiful.
So tell me, what do you usually do when you're a hostage, eh?
This is actually my first time.
Oh, ours too. Also, I'm over here. Hey, did you know there's a bug in your hair?
But they are funny. They're honestly more entertaining than the A plot. Also, Frida and Alpha's like dynamic, like hilarious as well.
I kind of hoped you'd be setting out into a deep, dark forest.
The library is a forest for the imagination.
And research the greatest adventure of them all. I like him.
So, I'll just have to rank this episode A tier. First A in this season. Episode 8, The Tired Mice. David wants to sing in like the Sparrow Scout chorus, I think, choir. But he's just terrible at luck, because like past events like end terribly. This one also ends terribly too. So Hilda decides to use magic to summon a like tired mouse, which gives the person the summoner chooses good luck, causing him to basically solo the choir. And it was so the tired mice worked so well. She decides to give a tired mice to her mom because she's a graphic designer, but since they need control work, she's not got any clients. She's working a 9-to-5 job where she like deals with dog shit.
Oh, I need to see you a boss.
Which causes her to basically get a shit ton of clients or a shit ton of work. But later on, David starts acting weird, like weird eyes, foam, like weird noises, because Hilda did not read the footnote and the asterisks and stuff like that. Which after like 30 days, Hilda basically take control of Hilda, Joanne and David. Just kind of funny, when being honest. So Hilda has to chant something to like basically get the tired mice to leave their house, but of course, for her luck, the last day they have to do that is at the day of the Sparrow Scout choir, which David and Joanna, of course, are gonna be there. So in a scene which I thought was gonna be way worse. I don't like scenes where like characters have to embarrass themselves in public. Hilda chants the weird spell thing to basically get the tired mice and Dave and Joanna to leave, which causes like shit to happen, and Hilda has to quickly take them to the weird river ocean place where she like summoned them, which even though the tired mice has left their host, they still act weird with the weird eyes and weird noises thing, which causes them to nearly fall off a cliff to their deaths. This show can be hilarious sometimes. Which she successfully gets to the pond without fucking dying, and does the weird ritual thing, which causes the mice to supposedly go away, which they actually didn't. But that's not really important until like next season. Which Joanna scolds her for like nearly taking control of them and nearly like killing them, but Hilda does shit my people, and Joanna's fine with it. So everyone leaves happily ever after. This episode's fucking boring. I think some scenes are funny, like the fucking cliff scene. And the only thing I'd say is like Frida's interesting. Hilda and Alpha like basically like shitting on Hilda for like being fucking idiots. Funny as hell. I'll give him like a C tier. Now I need to tell you something. This season, up to this episode, is okay. It's fine. Like consistent. Like, all I'd say is that I've only considered 3 episodes out of like the 8 good in my opinion. But it's fine. It's fine to keep going like this. The show will be good, in my opinion. Now, I really hope the next episode is not fucking dog shit. Oh, no! Episode 9, The Ghost. This episode starts with Hilda and David rushing to Frida's house because they believe something's wrong. And when they get there, they realize her room has been trashed. So they eventually clean up. and which they eventually clean up, and David brings a camera to basically record her to see if the ghost comes back. But the next morning, when they get back to gets back to Frida's house, turns out Frida trashed her own room, and it's always been cleaned back up when she wakes up, and she thought that was completely normal. Which David kind of finds it funny that she believes that, which causes Frida to fucking attack David, which Hilda has to break up the fight. So they have to find the ghost to like see why he didn't came back to clean up the room. Eventually, they get to at the library. The librarian, which I don't think she's named in this season, like gives them a way to like summon ghosts. Asks Hilda if this is important, which she says yes, because friends. At night, Hilda, Frida, and David, which I'm not sure why he's coming with that. He can stay out of this. I think that was the best idea for him. Goes to the graveyard to find the ghost. Frida and David attack each other. Of course they did. I fucking hate my life. The ghost says that he cleans up Frida's room because Frida keeps the book he likes to read. But then the book disappeared. And since he doesn't have a reason to come back to her room, he just doesn't clean up her room. Which Craigie believes his sister and I'm not gonna say her name, stole the book, which the sister goes not gonna give back the book without a fight. So the ghost, Hilda, Frida, and David have to like wrestle the ghost to like get the book back, which the ghost fucking souls them. But Hilda has one trick up her sleeve: death threats. She lies down in her grave before the sun comes back up to probably kill her. It says she won't get up until she gives back the book. What the fuck? That's kind of funny, if I'm being honest. Which the ghost, since the ghost doesn't want to die anymore, gives back the book. But she thought it wasn't the book that Craigie likes. It was just some random book. Which, since it's not the book, Craigie's not returning. Which Frida is pissed at Hilda about. Huh? What? So next morning, I forgot to say, Frida's been like running for like student presidency, but since her room is not being fixed, she's been basically fumbling it. So at the day, like at the election, Frida's not there, which worries Hilda and David. Which they come to her room, her house, to ask what's going on, and Frida, she's pissed at David and Hilda. Like she basically like gets mad at David for like making fun of her, and like at Hilda for like fucking none of her problem, like, which caused them that Frida and Hilda basically get mad at each other and basically them breaking up as friends. Frida is pissed and goes back to sleep as like some weird fucking creature grabs a random book and runs back. I fucking hate this episode. Oh my god, this episode sucks dick. I don't know where I'm supposed to start with it. Like the easiest thing, say like I dislike David and Frida in this episode. David's like, what's got her dick? Like insult her, which yeah, it's a dick move. But I think Frida acted way worse in this episode, so I don't really care that David was kind of a dick. And also, this was kind of funny in this episode.
You could just learn to tidy your own flipping room.
Frida, on the other hand, oh my god, I fucking hate her in this episode. I don't know why she gets mad at Hilda for like trying to help her get back the book. Like that was literally not her problem. She could have just walked away and just not cared. No, she's a nice person, does it? And tries to help her get the book back. It also says, in this episode, Frida says she gets mad at Hilda for like taking them on adventures, something like that. I may have like misremember that line and Nightmare Spirit. She says she's fine with it. Oh my god, I'm going to kill oh my god, I'm sorry for being acting like a fucking Mr. Enter. I don't actually get this mad at this, so I'm joking about this. Honestly, I can make an entire video on why this episode is complete ass! But I don't want to be labeled as a Mr. Enter knockoff, so 10k views, 5,000 likes, I'll do it. God, fuck this episode. F tier. Worst of the season. Worst of the series. Girl thinks she's Mike Irving Trout.
Stupid son of a bitch.
You know what? Since I was like actually like pissing and shitting myself over like ghosts, you may think, oh, this is the part where the show gets bad. No, it gets good. Due to her falling out with Frida, Hilda's not been like sad all the time, which makes me sad. And during this time, the weather has been going crazy. Like it's been like raining, stormy for like 1 minute, and then snow on the other. And Hilda watches some weather reporter named Victoria Van Gale, which she always seems to predict the weather perfectly. But so it's bad to her, and she's scared of her like dying. And since she can predict the weather perfectly, she thinks she can like fix the weather. So her, Great Raven, and David, an all-star cast. David and Great Raven like the best characters. I'm glad they're interacting. Go to the weather tower where Victoria is and see if she dies. If she didn't die or something like that. Which we get to meet Victoria, and she is like excited for people to come here, and David and Raven doesn't trust us since she's like acts suspicious, like not letting them go into a certain room. So it turns out that the weather spirit are basically just talking clouds cause the weather, like arguing with each other. And Hilda and Great Raven decides to go into the storm with the clouds and go try to basically make sure like everyone's like calm and not like killing anyone. So she does that while David's left behind at Victoria's place, which he uses that time to go into the room that Victoria is not allowed to go to. So Hilda and Raven goes to like storm clouds and basically talks to them until like everyone's calmed down, except for one cloud who sees Victoria's place and gets immediately pissed. So eventually Hilda and the Great Raven gets back to Victoria's place and tells them everything's fine. When they see David get out of Victoria's room, tells Hilda that tells Hilda that she should see what's David tells Hilda that she should see what's in the room. Just then, the cloud that got pissed at was seeing Victoria's place gets in and causes havoc in there. Causes David hurt his leg. So Great Raven and David fly back to his place while Hilda goes to check out the room. Turns out it's a baby cloud, weather spirits, whatever. And that Victoria kidnapped the baby cloud to try to get the weather spirit to come and you see her to basically be able to control and change the weather, which Hilda is mad about, and eventually releases the baby weather spirit, which causes the place to crumble and basically get destroyed. Victoria is able to escape, but Hilda is believed to be crushed under the rubble, and she fucking dies. I mean, it's a freak out ending. She's like on the Wet Spirit and falls back to the great forest where she originally lived. But I'm gonna be honest, I cannot take that freak out seriously. I bursted out laughing when I saw it the first time. There's really nothing I have to say for this episode. It's like also really good. I give it an A tier. Episode 11, House in the Woods. So it's immediately after the storm, and Hilda is back in the Great Forest, but she's lost and she doesn't know where to go. She eventually finds the woodman and some elves gambling, and she tells them she needs and asks the woodman for help, which he's too busy because he's gambling. However, one of the elves wants to help Hilda with the power of email, elf mail.
If you're really worried, we could send your mum an email.
Email?
Sorry, elf mail.
The rats were fucking laughing their asses off when making that joke. So the elf emails a letter to Alpha, which supports him later. However, the woodman, based as always, gambles Hilda away to a giant. Just randomly there. Based. However, it turns out Woodman was gambling Hilda away because he lost stuff to that giant and he wants her to steal them back. He does not care for her. He only cares about his stuff. Based. Which the plan goes terribly and they end up getting even more lost until they find a house in the woods, which conveniently has stuff they want. So they spend the night there till next morning, where they try to leave, but they can't. The house is a creature which, I guess, traps anyone who goes inside there and gets them stuff they like. Sounds like a paradise to me. Eventually, Alpha and Twig figure out where Hilda is, basically. So he and Twig decide to venture out to the woods to try to find her, which later on they accompany with the Great Raven who's looking for her. After the events of the storm, they eventually do find them. However, they actually get trapped in the house too. Hilda realizes that the house gets more glitchy when they ask for a lot of stuff, which they do. But I guess they're bad at thinking because they immediately run out of ideas, which I can like easily beat that house. Hilda gets mad, wishes to go home, which the house does that and gives them a way out. However, all the stuff they asked for disappears. So Hilda is reunited with her mother, and Woodman says some deep shit. And the Woodman leaves saying, "Oh, he will visit her one day." This episode is really good in my opinion. One of my favorite parts of this episode is Hilda's development. She spends the first 3 episodes wanting to go home, but after a little bit she likes living in Trollberg, but then she's forced out of Trollberg back into the Great Forest, and then she wants to go home. I think it's kind of interesting development. Good episode, 8 tier. Episode 12, the Nisse. Nisse. It is about to be the end of the year for the Sparrow Scouts, and they're going to go on a camping trip. However, Frida has not returned to the Sparrow Scouts since her and Hilda was falling out in Ghost. This is confusing to me. How long has it been since Ghost to now? Has she missed school too? Huh? So Hilda and David decide to go to Frida's house to see if she didn't die. And it turns out Frida is okay and has a new friend named Kelly, who's not important. Later on, Hilda and Joanna went shopping to get food for the camping trip. They come across a knitter. I can't take the word knitter seriously. I was thinking that one orphan clip.
Knitter!
Joanna tells Hilda not to talk to the knitter because they mean nothing but trouble. Next day, the food that Hilda and Joanna bought for the camping trip disappeared, which I'm just gonna say, I really know what to say. I like the music in this scene.
Did you eat them, Mum?
No. Did you eat them? Did you eat them?
Hilda disobeys Joanna and talks to a knitter named Tontu, which she reveals that he's been kicked out of his house. So Hilda invites him to her house, and I forgot how, but Tom decides to take Hilda to Noah's space, where all knitters live. And then Hilda and Tontu come across another knitter, and they and Tontu fight. But when Joanna comes back, the old knitter hides back, so she's not caught. And Tontu, the one we met, gets blamed and kicked out. Joanna is pissed that Hilda's basically disobeying her, but she quickly stops being mean. I forgot to say as well, there's sightings of a black hound, who's scaring people. I think was also referenced in the 10th episode too. So Hilda, David, and some random kids literally is not important. They don't matter in this series. Go look for stuff. When Hilda and David meets Tontu, which is standing out in the forest, being homeless, decided to be nice to him, make a fire, and want to give him some food. So at night they sneak out of tents to look for Tontu, but they come across Amaras again. 1, Kelly, Samara, and 2, Frida is hanging out with them, trying to be Amara, which surprised Hilda, and David's reasonably pissed off. I wouldn't take that level of disrespect too. So David gets mad, walks away, gets his flashlight, gets scared, and thinks it's the Black Hound. So he runs back, and David actually knocks to Hilda. They fall to where the Maras are. They get caught. The Mara, the episode 6 Mara, the one who doesn't have a name, starts making fun of David for being a bitch. But Hilda stands up for him and tries to get Frida to come back with them, but she doesn't. And then David, the Chad as always, gets the best line in the show. Basically stand up for himself. Basically stand up for himself against the Maras, and seems to scare them. However, the Black Hound is right behind them, and the episode ends. I think the episode's pretty good. I think this is the closest we'll get for probably the entire series of they getting an actual character arc. I also really like the build up to the Black Hound's reveal. So David standing up for himself against the Maras, then everyone, including Hilda, is getting scared of something. David finishes his rants with a smug ass face, and then Hilda has to turn around to face the Black Hound. But either way, good episode, A tier. And finally, to the final episode.
I thought you did it for the money, but now it's so clear. Screw the money. You did it for fun. You get off on it. You're like Leopold and Loeb. You know it's true. You just have the guts to admit it. I'm gonna make it clear to everyone, because I'm gonna dedicate my life to making sure that everybody knows the truth. Who are you?
Episode 13, The Black Hound. This episode immediately picks up right after episode 12 with the Black Hound. The Maras push Frida to the Black Hound and use as bait, based honestly. So the Maras disappear, and Hilda saves Frida from being eaten by the Black Hound, and they escape and eventually distract them with food so they can be able to get away. And actually, the Raven leader figures out Black Hound's there and immediately ends the camping trip early. So everyone's freaking out and packing up. It's also a small scene where it's David and Frida alone, and Frida basically apologizes for being a bitch. and help David like with putting his stuff away. Hilda tries to find Tontu, which she's still in the forest, but the Raven leader doesn't allow her. Since Frida like went to the forest without her parents knowing, she doesn't have a ride home, so Hilda offers Frida to go with her to her house. During the car trip, figure out that Hilda doesn't have any Sparrow Scout badges. I guess the plant badge from Lost Clan, I guess that didn't happen. The blue thing just disappeared. So Frida offers Hilda to help her get one before like the year ends. So next day, Hilda, Frida, and David are collecting stuff for a yard sale. I think they call it a jumble sale, but who the fuck calls it that? And while they're collecting stuff, they come across Kelly, and Kelly's mom puts some stuff to the wagon for the yard sale. And one of them is a plush bunny, which Kelly obviously likes and doesn't want it to be donated. Of course, like, you know, like TV show, she acts like, oh, I actually don't need it. But Frida obviously sees through that and like gives her the bunny, like, oh, you shouldn't abandon your friends like me. Yeah, and they leave, and that's the last time you see Kelly. She's just like me, for real. But during collecting stuff, Hilda comes across Tontu and follows it. But it turns out that is not Tontu, it's just a knitter that looks like Tontu. Eventually, Hilda realizes that Trollberg has a massive homeless problem. I mean, a knitter problem. There's a lot of knitters like without a home. But while Hilda was looking for Tontu, she comes across the house that Tontu was talking about last episode. I just didn't mention, like, house he liked, but got kicked out, but got falsely accused and got kicked out. And the owner of the house says that she didn't falsely accuse him, that he destroyed her house. Then outside the house, we see Tontu like crying or something like that. Hilda is mad that Tontu lied, but Tontu says he's telling the truth. With all this time looking for Tontu, caused Hilda to miss her chance to get a Sparrow Scout badge. Which sucks. The next day is the day where like all the Sparrow Scout gets their badges. Hilda doesn't want to go because she didn't get any. Tontu's there and she decided to let him like stay in the Noah space of the Sparrow Scout building. During the like ceremony where of course Hilda gets no badges, Tontu sees the Black Hound sleeping in Noah space, including the Black Hound, which causes shit to happen. So Tontu and Hilda are basically running away from the Black Hound. They're going through Noah spaces. Along the way, they find Frida's book, and that ends that plot point. It's like never mentioned again. Eventually, they get to Hilda's house, where the knitter from Hilda's house tries to defend herself against the Black Hound, but then she realizes the Black Hound was her old pet named Jellybean. What a fucking loser name. Hilda connects the dots that the Black Hound knows the Noah space, so that causes him to go through it and trash anyone's house, and then they blame the knitter. However, Safety Patrol figures out that Jellybean's at Hilda's house, and they basically surround the place to try to capture Jellybean. With the help of Joanna, Hilda, and the two Tontu and the other knitter, get Jellybean to follow them out of Trollberg. However, during the chase, Joanna is about to crash into a wall, and Tontu and the other knitters are to make a risky move to try to go through the walls in Noah's space, which I guess is a bad idea since one right move you could be like teleported across you could be teleported anywhere, which they do. And Hilda, Joanna, and Tontu can successfully get across the wall, while the other knitter and Jellybean did not come out. After all those events, Joanna surprises Hilda with a homemade badge made by her, which Hilda is embarrassed by it, and tries to figure out how to get rid of it, which is kind of funny. And we see at the Red Forest, we see that the knitter and Jellybean survived, and they come across the ruins of Hilda's home, where we see women and the elves. And this scene, I love it. It perfectly explains Hilda's character.
This was once a cozy little house. The girl who lived here befriended a giant.
Guess she learned her lesson.
Not likely. Odds are, she'd do it again.
This episode is kind of weird in my opinion. Like, my biggest problem with this episode, like, it's too short. Like, since it's the same 24 minutes as the rest of the season, a lot of plot points don't feel finished. Like Tontu, he spends like the last episode like complaining that he's missed his own home, and then at the end of the season, he just lives in Hilda's house. Like, it's not a scene like the Tontu decides to live at Hilda's home. The Nisse problem, they mention like all those Nisse are kicked out, and the most we get is explain why they kicked out. We just never see them again, like outside of like one from a later season. And of course, the Frida shit. Hilda finds Frida's book and then puts it in a room, and that's all we get. The arc is never mentioned again, except for like maybe one time, like in the next season, which doesn't really count. This isn't like an actual complaint about it, the episode being too short. It's more like something I would have liked. I kind of would have liked to see like more like David not being happy with Frida. Like, I think David was way too nice to her. In the last episode, David says that Frida was always there for him for like who knows how long, and then in 2 days they had a falling out. They basically have a falling out, and then Frida befriends people who actively hurted him.
I'm done. Why would she be friends with them? Doesn't she remember?
That's more of a nitpick. I like what we got. I just wish we kind of got more. There's also this weird continuity error, like I mentioned it before. Like, I think it's more of an adaptation problem from the original graphic novels. But at the end of Lost Clan, Hilda, Frida, and David got the blue plant thing, and she got in the badge for collecting plants, but none of them get it. Which, once again, I think it's more of an adaptation problem. So I'm done. I'm free. Let's go. Shit, I forgot to rank in A-. My ranking for season 1 goes: number 13, The Ghost; number 12, The Sparrow Scouts; number 11, The Troll Rock; number 10, The Tide Mice; number 9, The Hidden People; number 8, The Midnight Giant; number 7, The Black Hound; number 6, The Lost Clan; number 5, The Nisse; number 4, The Storm; number 3, The House in the Woods; number 2, The Bird Parade; and number 1, The Nightmare Spirits. Oh shit. Do I like this season? I actually don't know. Like, I really would consider only 7 out of 13 episodes good. Like, a little bit more than half, but I see some people say that season 2 is worse than season 1, which, I mean, I could see why. Like season 1 is definitely more like just a basic through line. Like, every story is important to the overall season. Some maybe not, but they still have like continuity between each other. So if I was to rank season 1, I think I might give it like a 7, an 8, 7.5. So this is my first review video. This video is probably like dog shit. I'm sorry if like the mic is like dog shit. But I'll say like, comment, subscribe if you like to. See y'all later, and the series intro is